welcome to my channel. My name's Dawn, I'm the Reclusive Crafter, and it's Stash Busting Saturday. And as you can see by my desk, I've pulled out some bits and pieces. I thought it would be fun to do a little bit in line with Amanda at Scrimpingmommy Part 4 Vintage Journal or French Vintage Journal Masterclass. The part 4 was basically toppers and things, which had lots of tucks and things on, which I think is ideal for the blue vintage hues that I'm working on at the moment. So I'm going to have a play with that. So I've pulled out some bits and pieces. Now, what I've pulled out isn't necessarily the vintage blue collection, but everything I have on my desk, with the exception of the laces and the stamps, are all from Scrimpingmommy. So you can pop along to her Ko-fi site, you can pop along to her Facebook page. I'll leave all the links in the description at the end of the video, and yeah, you can have a look and see and just download and have a play with all her bits and pieces. I mean, I came across these and you know what, I can't remember what these were. It was a freebie and they're on her site. So, you know, just to have a troll through and see what she's got. This was, I can't remember what this was either. I will leave them in the links, but literally I just went through and pulled out a load of bits and pieces that I feel will go with my blue vintage hues really nicely. I've also pulled off some of the time cards that she has available on her Ko-fi site, and I also pulled off some blue guest checks, because obviously we're working on the vintage blue hues. In addition to that, I've also got here some blue tickets which are on her site as well. I've pulled out some of the little clusters that I did with the tickets to see if we can make use of those as well with the blue hues on. So I've got those as well. I've got just a handful of little blue stamps here that I might or might not use, don't know. This is actually part of the vintage blue hues, so that's the original size, this one. And then this size here, you can see the difference, quite substantial. This one is printed 4 to a page. So, you know, you can mix and match and play. You can print 2 to a page, 4 to a page, however many you want to. On my steampunk journal, I printed 16 to a page and got tiny little mini pages, which I used throughout the journal. If you haven't seen that, pop along and have a look at that one as well. So I am going to make a start. Now, I've also got, sorry, I should have said, I've also got some of this. This is out of my own stash. I've got some little, this is like a chiffon-y type thing. It was a scarf. I don't wear scarves, so I've ripped it up, bad me. And I've also pulled out a little bit of lace as well, which I thought will look rather pretty too. Give a nice little edge there. So that's as far as I have got. All right, so I've pulled everything together. We are now going to try and put some semblance of order to it. So there we go. I might pull in a few more bits and pieces yet. I don't know. We're just going to see how it all goes. Okay, so let me clear down my decks, and we now have a relatively clear spot to work with. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is work with this. If you haven't seen this masterclass from Amanda, go and have a look, is all I will say to you, because the ideas you will get from it are beautiful, really lovely. You can do so much with the bits and pieces that she pulls together, and, you know, really make things your own. You don't have to copy completely. You can completely make things your own. I mean, I'm just tearing this off here so that I haven't got such rigid edges. I know Amanda used a pair of scissors to rough edge her edges. I'm going a little bit further than that, in that I am actually tearing this down. I'm not doing a very good job of it, I have to say. I have printed this on quite a decent cardstock. It's a 200 GSM because I want this piece to be the actual base. So I wanted it to have a little bit more strength to it. So I am, as you can see, I am literally just ripping the edges off just to give a very uneven, kind of shabby-ish look to it, but I'm trying not to take too much off because I don't want to reduce the size of it too much. So there we go. So while I'm doing this, how are we all doing? Again, this is something I could have done off camera, but do you know what? I just wanted to show you the process that I'm using. Amanda does things very differently to me, or some things very differently to me anyway. And everyone has their own unique styles as well. So yeah, make sure you go and have a look. Like I say, I will leave all the links in the description for you so that you can pop over and take a look and see what Amanda does too. So a little bit of blue just around the edge because this is blue hues. I don't know that you will see the whole of this edge. I don't think you will because I'm going to be layering across and up and down and all sorts of things with it. There we go. Gorgeous, huh? We love that. Right, so that's our start. We also have our beautiful guest check here, and I think we're going to use that. And with this one, I am just going to rough the edges with scissors because actually I think it might be quicker. So let's just rough up those edges. I've torn it a little bit. I don't care. This is going to be really kind of a roughened. And there, that's lovely. That will all add character and design. You might not even see it by the time I've finished doing the layering, but do you know what? Who knows? And the idea of this particular project as well is to give you lots of little tuck spots to play with. So there'll be lots going on with it. There we go. All right, I've given that a right good scraping with my scissors. There we go. Let me just get all the fluff off my desk. And again, I am taking I won't be using the blue ink on everything I do for this journal, but on this particular project, I think it will work very nicely indeed. In fact, I'm going to tear that bit off completely. There we go. I'm being absolutely brutal, aren't I? Beautiful. There we go. Let's take that down. Lovely. So that's the second piece. And again, just checking that I'm still recording. Right. So now we are going to... I'd like to actually see that that's a time card, but it might be a little bit, I suppose, time... Right. I'm going to... I don't think these ones are as long as the ones that Amanda was showing on her video, but this is on her site. In fact, I think that one's a bit longer actually. No, it's not. I'm telling you fibs. It's exactly the same. That one is longer though, is it? That one is. Bear with me. I'm just going to rough this one up. Sorry. I've just decided I want this one instead. So, right then, so now I am going to pop that. That's better. That's better. I like that a little bit better, just with a little bit more height to it. Smashing. So what I'm going to do now is just stick that down so that we end up with a little tuck spot. I'm just wondering what way around I want to do this actually. I think I'm going to go that way. Okay. So going to glue from about there, I think. I'm going to glue that there. Glue that down there. Glue that down there. Now, I have to give out a little bit of disclaimer on this. I did watch Amanda's video a few days ago, and you know what? I have slept since then, and I'm not likely to remember the whole process that she went through completely. But the inspiration of this is absolutely coming from Amanda's work. I've put that on the wrong bit, haven't I? Yes, I am. Such a donut, aren't I? Goodness gracious, Dawn. One of these days you'll think about what you're doing. I don't want that on there. I want it along there. There we go. Right then. Okay, so that's the base part done. All right. And then what I've got there, when that sticks down, is a little tuck spot just in there, but it's going to be a hidden tuck spot. So whatever goes in there will need to come out a little bit further so that you know it's in there. Okay. Now, without going any further, what I would like to do is to add in some of the chiffon and some of the lace, because that's going to be backed on there. So I'm going to cut that about there, I think. Preferably with a pair of scissors that actually cut would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's see if these are any better for material. They're clearly not material scissors, are they? And again, doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. You can rough up the edges like so. I like this type of crafting. You don't have to be too particular about it, do you? It doesn't have to be pristine, which we love. Now then, I think that goes that way round, does it? I don't think it matters, actually. I'm going to put it that way round anyway. Right, and I want a little bit of lace as well. So I want that. I want the lace to show through a little bit. Maybe not quite. Maybe this wasn't the best lace choice, actually. But it will do the job. Okay. Cut that there. Right. Fabric. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there. Do that. Right, that's the top. I want that piece there at the top and round that way. Okay. Maybe don't want it out quite that far, do I? Maybe about there, possibly. Okay. That's maybe a bit too far out, actually. I might get away with just cutting this down a little bit. Get woofed. Okay. Right, let's try that one again. I want to be able to see it, but I don't want it to be the main character, if you know what I mean. That's nice. I'm happy with that edge there. Can you see that? Okay, so that's that edge there. And then I'm going to stick this one on there. All being well and all. So again, just a little bit of Fabri-Tac down there. And then a little bit of glooby-doo. And then because this is going on to I don't want these, what do we call it, scalloped bits. So I'm going to chop those off, and maybe I'll be able to use that on something else, which would be nice, wouldn't it? Maybe, who knows? I'm certainly not going to throw it away anyway. See, I've got that I could potentially use somewhere else. I'm going to pop that to one side, check on the right way and the wrong way round for this, which is always a job to see, isn't it? I've got bits all over my desk now. Right, so that's that way. I think that goes that way. Does it? Who knows? No, I think it goes that way. Right then, so I'm going to stick that. I didn't do a good job of that glue, really, did I? It's nowhere near this. It is nowhere near the lace now. Oh joy! Let me try and redo that. Oh dear! I'll put it right on the edge. Oh. Let's see if we can get it to stick. Okay, one there and one there. Let's have a look. See, is that all right? Not really, Dawn. You cut it too thin, I think. No, it'll be fine. There we go. Okay. How are we doing? Oh, I don't like it. Actually, no, that looks okay. Just a little bit of a hint of that. Yeah, I'm all right with that. That's all right. And now I've just got glue all over my desk because I'm an idiot. There we go. Look, get out of it. Right, and I'm going to just dab that off a little bit so that we don't end up sticking to everything. Yay. Righty ho. So that's that bit done. All right, so with that bar ahead now. Now I want to put my focal piece on, and I've got these, which I thought would be lovely, but I'm not going to use this one on this particular. I am not going to use this one on this particular one because when I was doing the card a few days ago, I cut this out and I didn't end up using it. So rather than this go to waste, I thought I would use this section of it here as my focal point, which I thought would be rather lovely. So I want to cut that about there. I'm going to take the little cherub off because as beautiful as the little cherubs are, if I don't take that off, it'll just look a bit odd, I think. And then I think I just want to take just a tiny fraction off of there, which leaves me with that, which I think is lovely, just as a little focal point on there. That looks nice, doesn't it? Maybe bring it down so that we can see the guest check there. So that's nice. And what do I want to do with this? Again, I'm just going to lightly rough the edges on this, just so that it's in keeping with the other pieces. Like so. And pop some of that glue around just to frame it all. Now, I could have cut that little piece there off, but I actually quite like that. And I'm just wondering, do I want to put that? It's difficult, isn't it? Because I'd like to see the time card, but I also want to see that that's a guest check. And maybe I'm going to put that. I'm going to put that there. And again, how do I want to do this? Might do a tiny little tuck that side. Yeah, and I'm going to glue it down to, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. Time will tell. Come on, back, come. Oh, my glue's got gummied up. Don't get gummied up on me now. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue across there. And glue across the top. And then glue down to there-ish, I think. Have I done that right? No, put it on the wrong side. Oh, goodness me. Put it on the wrong blooming side. What is the matter with me today? Let's try that one again, shall we? Donut. Right, so that's going to go there. So glue wants to go on that side. Egypt. Righty ho. Right, and I want that about there. Okay. So what I have currently got is glue all over my desk. But what I've got now is I've effectively got a tuck there, and a little tuck there when they all glue properly. Okay. I want to bring in a little cluster that I'd already made. See, I like that. This is really hard, isn't it, when you don't want to cover bits up? That's rather nice. I quite like that shape there. Yeah, I quite like that shape, so I'm going to go with that. And this, do I want to, that in theory would make quite a nice little tuck, wouldn't it, on its own, dependent on, and then that comes out and looks, do I want to use that as a tuck? I want to bring it down a little bit more, I think. I think it would work as a tuck, but maybe I'd use something a little bit smaller than that so it doesn't completely cover her face up. So I'm going to come down here. I maybe should have used Fabri-Tac for this, to be fair. And I'm going to come across here. How far over does that need to be? About there. It's a job to tell, isn't it? Right then. So about there. About there. Just so I can just see that little blue flower coming out there, I think. I think that will work nicely. And I quite like that cluster there, actually. It's got the little blue flower on, which is fab. Which I do like. Let me just dab that off of there a little bit. Right then. So, just hoping that's going to stick. It should do. I'm going to pop a little bit more Fabri-Tac down there, just to hold that in place. There we go. Okay, let me get that out. Give it a squidge. I'll pop my pin in my Fabri-Tac so that doesn't dry out. Okay. How are we doing? Right, so we've got that far with it, which is lovely, isn't it? I like that. And then, what else should we use? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tucks on there so far, which is lovely. If I just pulled that up. Yeah, let me just pop a little bit more glue in there. There we go. Okay. Nice. And then I've got some lovely little stamps here. And cockerel. That's quite nice, isn't it? And I've not got a lot going on up here, have I? So, where's my butterflies? I have got numbers. Just trying to find some butterflies. There's one. You would be nice. Okay, we like that one. I know we've got one down here, but I quite like that. That's lovely. I also not sure. As I say, these are very different to... Oh, that one's quite nice as well. Do I prefer that one? No, I quite like that one actually. And what else have we got here? What about that one? No, don't like that. That's really nice. Although that is on a postcard and it is very thick. Do we like that? No is the answer. No, we don't. Ocean sailing? Nope, don't like that either. Okay. Little blue flower. Oh, they're not really blue actually, they're mauve, but blue-ish, aren't they? I'm not terribly enamoured with some of these actually. What about that one? How does that look? Do I want that there? That there? I could layer that like so and pop that one. That's nice. I like that. I know this is quite a heavy duty card because it's on a postcard, but I'm going to use it, folks. Yes, I am. And I think I will just... That's a shiny surface there, so I'm just going to scuff that up a little bit. I'm not even sure that worked. It's scuffed-ish. So let me pop a decent amount of glue on there to make sure it sticks. Like so. And I'm going to go in with another little layer there. Just wipe that little bit of glue off there. And I'm going to pop my little butterfly on. I'm going to pop my butterfly on there. And of course, what did I do with my little blingy bits, folks? They're there. I found them. Stick that down. I want to pull you over a little bit. There we go. Yes, we do. Okay. I don't think this is anything near or exact as Amanda did it, but I'm actually quite happy with it for the Blue Hues Journal, to be honest with you. I think it's rather pretty. There we go. Just going to pop a few little twinkly bits there, in keeping with the other bits that I'm doing right now. And I'm going to tear off that corner. I don't like that corner like that. There we go. Okay, so that's what I've done. All right, so what we've actually ended up with here, we've got the main tuck spot obviously at the back. When you stick it to the page, you will have the main tuck spot there, or you could use it as a tag tuck spot at the back there. All right, we have also got this one here, which is a hidden tuck there, which will add more depth and definition there. We have got a little tuck there, which is lovely, nice deep little tuck there. And then we've also got a little front tuck there, which is lovely. So we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got 4 things there that we can tuck things behind. So I'm going to go ahead and make another one of these, and then I will come back to you shortly and show you what I have done. See you in a minute. Right, so I've put both of them together. So this was the first one that you saw, and I'll just remind you where the little tucks are on this. So we've got a tuck right on the front here, we've got a tuck on the side here, we've got a tuck between these 2 layers here, and then obviously you'd have a tuck round the back as well. Okay, that's that one. And then this was the second one I did. I think I prefer the first one over the second one, but I do like this. I've done a tiny little tuck with the little bird cage there that you could just add a little something there. And then we've got another tuck here. We've got a tuck here behind the guest check. And again, you'd have another tuck at the back there. So those are my 2 little pieces from Amanda's part 4 of her French Vintage Journal Masterclass. So that's what she was doing, and that's kind of my version of it, really. I don't think this one quite meets the brief, but I'm quite happy with this one. So that's it for today. That's Stash Busting Saturday done, and I'll look forward to seeing you all Monday. Have a fab weekend, everybody. Take care. Bye for now.